Greetings, beautiful souls and art moms. We are on our lesson 4 of our brush forms, but we're going to do the activity number 13 of Marian Hudson's elementary brush forms. Now this one is the butterfly, but for this lesson I will show you the differences between using a synthetic brush, a natural hair brush, and a Chinese brush. Because in brush forms, I've been using usually a synthetic, but when you see the form of the butterfly, it's actually thicker in the wings part. I'm just gonna pause the video real quick. Okay, so as you can see, the shape of the Chinese brush already looks like the figure of the butterfly wing. While this synthetic brush, so it has plastic fibers, even though it's very soft and it can hold water, it's very linear and it's gonna make like a triangle versus the teardrop shape that we see in brush forms. So this natural squirrel hair will make a teardrop shape. And this is the same synthetic, this comes from the same set, but this is smaller. And I will show you that with the bigger brush, we can imitate the thicker bellies of the natural hairbrush. Okay, so let's get started. Today I'm going to be using Sennelier watercolors as usual. Because this is a dry brush form technique, you don't need special watercolor paper. Using the set Aqua Mini. So let's first try just for you to see the difference. I'm going to try the small synthetic first. So I'm gonna fill my brush with water, choose my color, and so this will be the strokes that we need to practice. The upward stroke, I'm just going to move my paper a bit. Okay, so the upward stroke, or should I say it's pointing downwards, and stamp. So that's a whole brush form, and a half brush form at the top, so that would be the head of your butterfly, so it's smaller. And then you're going to also practice the diagonal full brush form for the wings. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to combine all that, and we will have something looks like. Remember, I'm using this small size 4 synthetic. Okay, so let's try it with the full brush form, half brush form, then antenna, and then connected to the body at anywhere else is the first diagonal brush form. It's 1, and then second one, just like that, and then third, and 4. So as you can see, it doesn't look like a butterfly, but that's because the shape of this brush is limited. So let me show you what happens if you use a bigger synthetic. So I'll change color. I'm going to use Holbein bright pink next. So, same. This is first we're going to make a half brush form. antenna. Then I'm going to make hole. Which one was that? Other side. With my color. So it's considerably thicker. So it looks more like a butterfly. But again, the ratio of the body and the wings is just different. This time, I'm going to be using a natural hairbrush. This is a squirrel. Try to use the cerulean blue, Sennelier colors. Just try to clean it up. And you can see immediately the shape of the brush. Okay? So I'll just try to move my paper so that you can see. A smaller brush form for the head and antenna. Then one diagonal brush form. Okay, the problem with the squirrel is it's a thirsty brush. I need to load it again and again. This one again. One. And then, sorry, you can't see. Two. This is the third wing. And fourth wing. And immediately you can see that this one looks more like a butterfly than this one. It wasn't specifically stated in the 1903 book that you need natural hairbrushes, but I'm also guessing that synthetic brushes weren't that much available in their market, so everybody must have been using some form of natural hairbrush so that their brush form would always look like a teardrop. So that's why in the drills that you would see by Marian Hudson, the shape of the brush is always like a perfect teardrop. But I know that most people today would find natural hair is much more expensive than synthetics. Synthetics are cheaper. And of course, if you're a vegan artist, you would also want to stay away from natural hairbrushes. There are synthetic imitations of these brushes. See, this is different. But I'm not sure how affordable they could be. It still doesn't meet like the price for the synthetics. That's why let's try this bamboo brush. Okay, quick disclaimer, not all bamboo brushes have bamboo bristles. Some of these bristles are also from animals. So you might want to check out what type of brush your Chinese brushes would have. So I'm using a Chinese brush because this is actually cheaper. If you're in the Philippines, like we have this for 20 pesos or less. Here you go, baby. So I'm going to try and use this one and see how it compares. It's a big brush and it's taking a while to load. Okay, so brush, I'm going to try and make, whoops, a butterfly. Again, so it's a half brush form, or a form, and then a smaller partial brush form for the head. So it's not perfect, and the thing with Chinese brushes is it doesn't snap back to its original shape. So that's actually good. Like the shape that you want, the perfect teardrop, just stays like that. But at the same time, I think it defeats the purpose of the exercise. I'll try to do it again. I'm trying to load more color and water. It's my Chinese brush. So again, it's brush one, partial brush, brush one. Wings to move it. One wing. Oops. Okay, so the Chinese brush is a good, cheaper alternative to squirrels and sable watercolor brushes. So those are our butterfly attempts today. Thank you for watching. And if you're using a synthetic brush, it's fine. I think this form is fine.